Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND, and today I wanted to talk to you about the second stage of OCD recovery. In the previous video, we covered the first stage. And just to recap, the first stage is when, as soon as you start to do the recovery work, as soon as you start to actively do exposure and response prevention, and when I say actively, I mean at least 80% of the time, you are doing the correct thing. You're disregarding, you're choosing to push through. What happens in the beginning is the brain starts to throw a lot more thoughts at you. You will feel like, how many more thoughts can I possibly get in a day? And they're just rotating in your mind, and you have to disregard all of them. Doesn't matter how it comes in, doesn't matter that, how real it feels, what, arguments it gives you. You're just like, no, it has to do with my theme, I'm disregarding. Or it wants you to do a compulsion, not doing it. Something bad's gonna happen? Okay, then something bad's gonna happen, but I'm still gonna choose not to do it. And you're just going like this minute after minute after minute all day. And again, it's very important that you are staying on track, because this pummeling stage is your brain is trying to figure out, why are you doing something different? Why are you not protecting yourself by doing reassurance like you used to, or doing compulsions like you used to? If you don't send a clear message that I'm done with this, I'm no longer disregarding, you will stay in this stage indefinitely. So it's very important that I understand that you have to be at your strongest when you are really at your weakest, which is in the beginning, right? And it doesn't really matter how long you've had OCD, by the way. You can have it for years and years, but when you buckle down and actually seriously do the recovery work, so, putting all of your effort into it, that's when this stage happens. How long you've had OCD before this really doesn't matter. It can be any length of time. So this is the first stage of the pummeling stage. Now, I wanted to talk to you in this video about the second stage. What happens after that? So you are getting, say, 100 thoughts a day. The intensity is still fairly high. What happens next? As you go and as you continue to disregard, these thoughts will start to feel a little less intense, because again, they're switching so fast that they don't actually have a strong root. They might have a root in general, right? But they don't actually have that stickiness factor because they're switching too fast, And again, when I say different thoughts, I mean you might have variations of the same one thought, but variations of it. And it might switch some details or something like that, and it'll still be considered a different thought, right? So as this is happening and you're getting various arguments to prove that the what if the thought is true kind of ideas, stuff like that, right? So as this is going on in your mind and you are refusing, actively choosing to refuse, doing the recovery work correctly, you will see that the thoughts are starting to get a little bit quieter. There's still a lot of them coming in, yes, but the level of anxiety went from 9 to 8 to 7, it's starting to go down. And this second stage is probably the longest stage. So when I say that the recovery takes about 6 months, this stage will last a few months, And so basically the journey from, say, 10 out of 10 OCD to, I would say, 4 out of 10 OCD, that's the longest period. And what you need to do is, again, stay strong, stay focused. Once you start to get towards the lower numbers, you will see that the thoughts, first of all, as the anxiety is going down, the frequency of the thoughts, the amount of the thoughts that you're getting throughout the day is also going to go down. It's not going to be as frequent and as intense, right? Because the brain is kind of letting go. It's seeing that, okay, you're still alive, everything is fine, nobody died, nothing bad happened. Because again, this is a very primal function, right? So nothing bad has happened. Maybe it's not all that relevant, and it's allowing you more and more kind of freedom to refuse without just getting you on every single thing, right? So as that's continuing, you will start to have moments where, OCD is going down. You might have times where, OCD is fully gone and then it comes back and then it goes away again and then comes back. That's normal. That's how recovery goes. So through this stage, you just need to be really focused and really choosing to continue to do as much recovery work as you've done in the beginning. So whether your OCD thoughts are 10 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 or 3 out of 10, it really doesn't matter. You still have to do the same amount of recovery work. And just like I was saying in one of the previous, I think last week was a video on it, that it's, I find it's very, very important that on a good day, when you are maybe having barely any thoughts, you're going fine, that you are choosing to view each situation and check, not, again, not obsessively, right? But keeping in mind that I still have OCD, I need to make sure my mind's in the right place, because this kind of easing off will come and go. And as soon as you let a thought in, it will start to really kind of seep in and get worse, So the longer you're focused, like, I feel good, but I am still watching my mind. Where's my mind? Is it on this thought? Is it not? As you see the anxiety lowering, this will come into play more and more, because you will have times where you didn't have OCD for an hour or for a day or for 2 days, and then it comes back. And it's normal that it comes back. It doesn't mean that you are having some sort of like a giant setback. It just seems to travel back and forth, as long as the overall trend is down, and as long as when you do have a little bit of a setback, it doesn't last for more than a day, you're on the right track. That's fine. So you just keep going and get it to a point where it's gone, but we will talk about that last stage in a separate video. But this middle ground it's all about just continuous, steady day after day. I would say that the best way I find is to have a marker of, okay, this is what I need to do each day. So I need to do 10 exposures of this, 10 exposures of this, 10 exposures of this kind, and you're making sure that you are doing those exposures no matter what, no matter how you feel, bad, good, doesn't matter. You're still doing the exposures in these specific areas to make sure that you are progressing through the recovery, and not viewing your feelings as something very, very important, because the feelings right now are controlled by OCD. So, OCD makes you feel a little bit better or a little bit worse in a specific day. So what? You are just in control of what you're doing. Are you treating the thoughts the right way? Are you disregarding? Are you doing on purpose exposures? Are you avoiding? Are you choosing not to avoid? What you're doing is what matters. How you feel right now, it's not really in your control. So don't try to chase the feeling. Don't try to decipher the feeling. It is what it is. It will be better in the future if I just do what I'm doing. So if you did what you did, if you did good, if you did what you were supposed to do, good. Pat yourself on the back. Tomorrow's another day. I'm gonna do more tomorrow. And have maybe even like a goal for yourself. I find that that's really helpful as well. So say, I'm going to do a minimum of 30 exposures today, or I'm going to do a minimum of 40 exposures today. So if I don't have thoughts coming in, or, situations that is an exposure situation, I'm going to make some up on purpose, and just being very brave and saying, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm sick of OCD. I can't do this, and really keeping your head in the game, so to speak, that every time you're just focused. So this is the second stage of recovery, and these are kind of just some of the pitfalls that I see happening. In the next video, we will talk about the third stage of recovery, and then there's the fourth stage, which is a maintenance stage as well, that we will discuss in another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to do the recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.